What's up, guys? Renasant here. Welcome back to the channel. So in our last episode we unlocked the shortcut to the next boss, and by next boss I do mean the final soul of or the final Lord of Cinder. So which of course, as we know, you can click on one of these chairs and find out is Prince Lothric. So as you can see, I have a metric F-ton load of souls, like over 2 million souls. I went and farmed those golden knights for quite some time with my silver serpent ring and my mimic head. 2 million seems like a lot. Like, it'd take a lot of time. Did not take long at all. So you can do it very quickly.
Welcome, host.
So we're going to level up, mainly just because I want to use different equipment, wear different armor, and just be overall more useful. So first thing we want to do, go ahead and take both of these stats to 40. So we are a total quality build now, in my opinion. Well, also I'm going to take this to 30, take vitality to 30, just so we can wear better stuff, basically. And we're going to also take endurance to 30, vigor to 35. Don't know. Not 100% sure what else I want to do, to be honest. Go ahead and put those at 10 apiece. Oh, well, that's what I want to do apparently. So let's go ahead and confirm that. So we're level 123 now. Typical PvP levels is going to be around 120. I'm going to go over that just because I'm not going to do PvP with this character. But you typically, for PvP, want to be at 120. 140 and 150 are also acceptable for... There's a good amount of PvP on that level as well, but 120 is probably the best. Talk to Andre here, get our Estus flask, and then let's actually make some weapons here. So one of the ones that I definitely want to do is the Lothric Knight Greatsword. One of my favorite weapons in the game, easily. And we can't get it leveled up all the way, unfortunately. The Claymore, however, we're going to go ahead and burn a slab and plus 10 this thing, just because I know I'm going to keep using it. I love it. But we're going to burn a slab and get that plus 10 Claymore. And then we're also going to wear some different armor. So we're going to take all this off. We're going to leave Ring of Favor on. We're going to put Havels on. Let's go ahead. We'll put the Life Ring on, I guess. And then how about probably Chloranthy. And we're gonna go the Outrider Knight armor. What about the... I'm trying to think, maybe like the Wing Knight helm. Lothric Knight gauntlets and Katarina leggings. Yeah, so we're very tanky now. You can see our poise is up to 34 almost, so we can still mid-roll. So this episode is primarily going to be housekeeping, finishing up a lot of NPC quest lines, honestly. I think there's like 3, maybe 4 NPC quest lines that we need to finish up. But before we do any of that, we are going to go fight the boss. And hopefully we can get the boss killed in our first try. It's been a long time since I've fought this boss, but we're going to see what we can do. So if you remember, our shortcut is from the Dragon Slayer armor bonfire. It's weird because it's not actually from the previous bonfire, which was the Grand Archives. It's actually from Dragon Slayer armor. But we should be able to do, now that we've leveled up some, we should be able to do more damage. We should be able to take more hits. We should have more overall endurance and defense. So hopefully I won't be dying quite as much as I have been. Just in case we do die, though, we do want to go ahead and send that elevator back down. One thing to note here is you don't want to sprint head forth out here, because otherwise these a-holes will lock you down quick. Of course, we're embered, though, so we do want to come over here and summon Orbeck. And then hope to God he follows us. He may not, because he kind of does his own thing sometimes. I think if the helmet just fit onto our head a little bit better, this would look pretty cool, but it kind of looks a little odd just because it doesn't fit on there, really. Alright, Orbeck, come on. And then, of course, we want to also summon Cirrus, and this will complete both of their quest lines for the most part. There's a couple things we'll have to do after it, but this should have their quest lines seen through to the end. And it doesn't matter if they die in this boss fight, by the way, whether they live or die. It's neither here nor there. Howdy, friend. Alright. So, like I said, Prince Lothar. Awesome boss fight, by the way.
Oh dear. Another dogged contender. Welcome, unkindled one, purloiner of cinders. Mind you, the mantle of Lord interests me none. The fire-linking curse, the legacy of lords, let it all fade into nothing. You've done quite enough. Now have your rest.
Alright, so be prepared almost immediately for aggro. This is actually not Prince Lothar. This is Prince Lorien, Prince Lothar's older brother. And he is a monster, as you can see. One thing about him that you need to know is that he can teleport, as you can see. Ooh, Cirrus. He has a lot of stamina. He can be very relentless. But overall, he doesn't really strike me as that difficult of a boss. Or that difficult by himself as a boss. The main thing you want to watch out for when fighting Lorien by himself is his teleports, just because he can teleport on a dime. Ah. But you can see he's almost dead. Of course, him being dead doesn't have anything to do with us continuing this fight, so. Because as you will see momentarily, there are multiple phases to this fight, as most bosses in Dark Souls 3 have. We do want to go ahead and buff our weapon. He's about to die. Oh, you punk. There he goes. So once he dies, and by he dies, I mean his health bar goes to 0, then guess what? His brother is going to be like, alright, fine. I'll come help.
Oh, dear brother, I'm on my way.
Such a cool boss fight, man.
My brother, unyielding sword of Lothric's prince. Rise if you would, for that is our curse.
For that is our curse. Alright. So Lothric is basically going to straddle Lorien here and ride on his back. The problem with this is Lorien's going to keep doing the same stuff he was doing, but Lothric is going to be shooting unrelenting magic at us as well. So what you have to do here, basically, if Lothric dies, there will be 2 separate health bars, which you will see. If Lothric dies, the fight ends. If Lorien dies, as we've already determined, Lothric can just raise him from the grave because he's undead. So what you want to do is try to attack Lothric as much as possible. Ooh, that Crystal Soul Spear hurts, by the way. Unfortunately, we're doing way more damage. Oh no, serious. We're doing way more damage to Lorien here, as you can see. But once you get him killed, Lorien's HP bar to 0, you can really go ham on Lothric there. But he will keep reviving them. Like I said, you don't win this fight until Lothric's bar drops to 0. And you really want to get out of there for when he does that, because it will hurt like a mug. Orbeck is dead. That's okay. We don't have too much longer to go, but... Ooh! So now we're fighting without friends.
On my way.
Like I said, just try to get behind and hack Lothric if you can, because hacking Lorien, not very effective. There we go. So as you can see, once Lothric dies, they will both perish. Awesome. Cinders of a Lord and Soul of the Twin Princes. Heck yeah. Soul of the Twin Princes. The 2 princes rejected their duty to become lords of Cinder and settled down far, far away to watch the fire fade from a distance. A curse makes their souls nearly inseparable. So a curse makes their souls nearly inseparable. That is why we can basically keep killing Lorien, and Lothric will just keep raising him from the dead. Such a cool boss fight, though, in my opinion. Cinders of a Lord left by Prince Lothric. If the lords will... we've read that. The Lothric bloodline was obsessed with creating a worthy heir, and when this proved impossible, resorted to unspeakable means. Suffice it to say, the path to linking the fire is a cursed one indeed. So it's really cool that you can kind of see like what they all look like with their ashes, but... Awesome. So after that, so basically now we have a lot of housekeeping to do, which that will probably take up the majority of this episode's time. So we want to tie up every loose end quest NPC quest line. So first of all, after using Orbeck in this boss fight, we want to travel back to the Grand Archives bonfire. So basically, as it is with most NPCs in Souls games, after you've completed their quest line, they either hollow or just die. So most of them hollow in older Dark Souls games, but in Dark Souls 3, most of them actually just die and you can go recover their ashes. It's a little strange, but... And indeed, Orbeck of Vinheim after aiding us in the fight against Prince Lothric, he has indeed passed away. And if I'm not mistaken, his ashes will pop up right over here. Yep. So there he is. And as you can see, he's just straight up dead. So go ahead and grab his ashes. And again, I'm not going to waste a homeward bone. We're just going to go back. Oh, you pansies. So go ahead and go back and get Orbek's ashes. The next thing we want to do is Sirius of the Sunless Realm. We got her. Well, we summoned her in that boss fight, so that will actually end her quest line. So she, I don't believe, actually has ashes. Let me check just to make sure, but we should, if I'm not mistaken, now be able to buy her armor. Yep, there it is. So the Sunless Set. So the Sunless Set is in there now. We will buy all that armor. I'll grind for a butt ton of souls off camera, and we can buy all that. So let's go ahead and give her Orbek's ashes.
Well, what warm umbral ash have we here? It's as if thy fate were with death entwined. But take no note of me, thy business is thine own. As by now thou surely knowest, there is little I love more than a gratuity of souls.
I mean, she just thinks we murdered everybody, basically. So I'm not 100% sure. I think she gets the moss fruits. But I don't really know what else she gets, to be honest with you. I know she gets some embers. She gets another soul arrow and another Farron dart. Just more expensive versions. Oh, you know what? She gets all of Orbek's spells, so if you didn't get them before, you can now purchase them. I don't think Orbek had any kind of special weapon. No, he did not. So... But most importantly, we can get his armor, I believe, now. Which just looks amazing. Yeah, there it is. The clandestine coat. Oh, I love it so much. It just looks so good. We also have Carla's armor in here. We will buy all of this, I promise. Oh, I love the clandestine stuff.
Welcome home, speak. Ashen One, has the little lord I sense that he possess of a thing?
Okay, yeah, so she wants us to place all the ashes down, basically. We'll go talk to Ludleth right quick, just to see. I don't think I thought we had already gotten that dialogue, but let's see.
Aha, thou return. So,
No.
most illustrious Lord
There we go.
Seeker. Or should I say, Lord Slayer? Fine kindling for the thrones, is it not? Each soul truly worthy of lordship. And all slain by thy hand, to bind them to their thrones, even in death. Oh, I have no qualms, for as we are to our thrones, thou art to thy duty. In fact, methinks thou'st helped these poor lords along their rightful path.
And I'm probably not going to make many, if any, boss weapons in this playthrough. I'll probably wait till New Game Plus, that way we can just make double of everything. But I will go over the lore of all these eventually.
Treat the Firekeeper.
Alright, so Sirius, when you end her quest line, you can buy her armor. And there's also one more thing we will need from Sirius. If we can get out of Firelink. Let me out! God, I love that poke. Finally. So remember Hodrick, Sirius's grandpapa. We actually want to come back to his grave and look who it is. The gal herself came here and died at her grandfather's grave. And she will have for us the Sunless Talisman. Talisman given to the Knights of the Sunless Realms who serve the Nameless Moon. Scales with intelligence, which is rare for a miracle catalyst, but makes it compatible with dark. In the Sunless Realms, this fact is related first as an initial warning. So, scales with intelligence instead of faith, so kind of a not so great catalyst for casting miracles. Then we want to come over here. Now you remember from the last episode, Arena was gone. If I'm not mistaken, she should be chilling in here. And we can actually see her face. So why are you sitting in here with all these dead firekeepers, huh?
Oh, sweet champion of Ash. Let souls be your strength.
She can actually level us up. Do you know what that means? Arena of Kareem is now a firekeeper.
Oh, let's.
Shame she doesn't have more dialogue.
Oh, let's.
But she is actually a firekeeper. And so what happened here basically is because we did not buy any dark spells from her, and that's where this came from. That we gave that to her, and it gave her those dark spells in her inventory. But because we did not buy any dark spells from her, she ends up becoming a firekeeper. If we had bought dark spells from her, she would be taken away by Egon of Kareem, the guy who was protecting her. And so her quest is effectively done now. Egon, though, we still have to find him. So you can. This will go one of two ways. If you do decide to buy dark miracles from her, like I said, Egon will stash her away, and she'll eventually return, but she will inevitably die. Egon can be found in this general area somewhere, just kind of like roaming around as a hostile NPC if you bought the spells from her. So you can get his equipment by going to the same location that we're about to go to. But first things first, because we never bought those miracles from her, those dark miracles, we know somebody who's all about dark stuff. Old Carla.
Yes. Oh, is this a divine tome? What on earth are you thinking? I wouldn't go near a divine tome, or any so-called miracle. And casters of miracles are sure to steer clear of me. So please, don't torture me so. Ah, you. How could you? Oh. I know. I owe my life to you. Fine then. But just this once, I will tell you this tale. but do understand, it will be my first time. I'll have no sniggering should I err.
Alright, Carla. So, she now has the Deep Protection and Gnaw miracles, which originally Arena had them in her inventory. Again, we will buy all these from her
Do stay
eventually.
safe.
There's a couple more we're gonna have to give her, so so that effectively will end Arena's quest line. She'll chill up there, be a firekeeper. Of course, this one's more convenient, so we'll keep using her probably. But now we want to go find Egon. So Egon will actually to find him. We actually want to go back to where we originally encountered Egon in Arena, and that should allow us to stumble upon a new revelation, if you will. Oh, you rats. You know what? I don't really want to even deal with all y'all. So I'm just coming over here and save quitting just so these enemies will leave me alone. So remember, this is where we originally found Egon of Cream. And if you just go in here where Arena was, you'll see that he came back here to die. And we can get Morn's Great Hammer and Moaning Shield. Morn's Great Hammer, by the way, amazing weapon. Such a badass weapon. The downside to it, look at the freaking requirements. 50 strength and 30 faith. So you really got to have a faith strength build. Not to mention the fact that the Joker weighs 24 freaking pounds, but great hammer bestowed upon Kareem Knights with demonstrate outstanding strength and unwavering faith. Decorated by a warding charm of Kareem Temple and imbued with the twisted rage of Apostle Morn. Very, very good weapon. But again, it requires some inhumane stats and strength to wield. Where is that? There it is, Moaning Shield. This is actually a great shield, and you can see the defenses on that thing are ridiculous. Again, 50 friggin' strength to wield though, so you probably won't be using it much. A deformed great shield given to Egon of Kareem upon being conferred knighthood. So he was in fact a knight. The giant woman's face that protects Egon is that of his sister, some years his senior, so his older sister basically. R.I.P. Egon. Alright, so we have one last NPC questline to continue here, basically. And that is actually going to be Leonhard the Ring Fingers. Yes, the man who has been chilling here waiting since the beginning of the game.
Now invade and pillage all you like, and if you grow weary of your duty, you too may become a finger. Come on, give yourself to Rosaria of the Cathedral of the Deep.
Oh, we might actually do that. So, the reason we never did it before, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it, but if you do that, if you proceed with this quest line, it will interfere with Cirrus of the Sunless Realms quest line, and will actually prematurely end that quest line. So, the beauty thing about this is not triggered by anything specific. So, like I said, you can do this at the end of the game, and simply just, wait until you've already done Cirrus quest line to come do this. So, when you travel back here, you'll notice this guy chilling right here. Actually not hostile towards us. And what we want to do is actually finally talk to Rosaria. Let us join your covenant. She'll give you Rosaria's fingers. And you can actually respec your character here. As well as alter your appearance. So we're not going to do any of that now, but we are going to offer her a pale tone. And because we cannot rest at this bonfire, we do in fact want to kill this thing and get the Hazel Pick and the Xanthus Crown, which I believe we already have, yes. Let me make sure we have the Hazel Pick. It's a catalyst, right? No. It's not classified as a catalyst, I guess. Yeah, we've already seen that. So now we can actually rest right here. And you'll see something interesting right there. Now Leonhard is actually here. Chilling. Let's go ahead and come over here and talk to him.
So, you've chosen to serve Rosaria after all. She will be pleased with me for finding her another finger. But be warned, my friend. Rosaria's fingers need only fetch tongues for their mistress. Otherwise, we are free, unchained. Like Yellowfinger, you can choose to believe that all fingers share camaraderie. But do not force your romance upon the rest of us. Rosaria's fingers need otherwise you do.
So, interesting fact there, referring to Yellowfinger, who was what we just killed right there. Yellowfinger Hazel, talking about camaraderie, probably has something to do with that crazy crown she was wearing, huh? Remember, she's a Xanthus creature, I guess you could say. I do have a black eye orb, do I? No, I do not. So let's go to Aldrich's bonfire, I believe. Let me just check just to make sure. I think we actually have to go back. So once you... Where is it? Once you talk to Leonhard, I thought you had to travel away, but once you talk to Leonhard, I believe Rosaria should actually be dead. Yeah, okay, so Leonhard is now gone, as you can see. And Rosaria has been murdered, basically. And we get the Black Eye Orb, which, if you remember from Dark Souls 1, interesting item here. Invade the world of Rosaria's killer. Arcane orb left on Rosaria's corpse. Have faith her soul can be retrieved by invading the world of her killer and returning victorious. Proof of vengeance, but often appears serene as it casts its gaze towards Irithyll. So that should be a hint of where you need to go. It says to Irithyll. Of course, the boss of the Irithyll area, the final boss at least, the Cinder boss, was Aldrich, not Pontiff, so... Alright, so come back to Anor Londo here, and what we want to do is actually take one of these Ornstein Smo elevators up. We'll take Ornstein's, I guess. No, this is probably Smo's. Yeah, this is kind of chunky. And so, if you remember from Dark Souls 1, you used the Black Eye Orb to invade an area over here. Remember, this is, of course, Guinevere's chambers. But you feel the Black Eye Orb quivering. Well, hey, we better use it then, huh? Who do you think Rosaria's killer is? Care to take a guess? Let's see, she was alive when Leonhard was there. We left, and she died, and Leonhard was no longer there.
Never expected to see you here. Couldn't resist her any longer in all her festering glory. And now you want to ravage her soul as well.
You ravaged it first.
I sow the seeds, I'll prune the mess. I, Leonard, swear so upon my vows to the goddess.
So, oh, we barely missed. Ringfinger Leonhard.
Certainly a beast wrapped in human skin. What do you want with her soul? Isn't flesh enough for a sick beast?
And you see he's got dialogue this entire time you fight him, almost. And he hits like a tank. I mean, you can see he does a lot of damage. That Crescent Moon sword is potent. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and kill you, I think, Ringfinger. I think we've gotten all your dialogue. How do you still have Estus? I can never dodge that. Aw, you out. There you
Blessed
go.
Rosaria.
Alright, so after you kill Leonhard, you'll return to your world with quite a lot. The Soul of Rosaria, the Crescent Moon Sword, and the amazing Silver Mask. I love this mask so much. Where is it? There it is. Such a cool mask. Doesn't really go with what we're wearing today, but of course neither does that. That's a little bit better. Such a cool mask though. Rosaria's Soul, of course, we got. And you can see it looks a little different than all these other ones, doesn't it? Soul of Rosaria, Mother of Rebirth, stolen by Ringfinger Leonhard. Return this to her extant corpse, and Mother Rosaria will spring back to life, as if nothing had ever happened. And then the interesting crescent moon sword. Ringfinger Leonhard's weapon of choice, a type of shuttle imbued with the power of the moon. Leonhard set out on a journey of rebirth, but decided instead to serve the goddess as a knight and inherited this weapon. So, it's interesting. So, the crescent moon sword. So, remember I told you if you proceed with the Rosaria's questline, you will fail Cirrus's questline. Cirrus is of the Sunless Realms, therefore she is a Dark Moon Blade. She serves the Dark Moon Goddess. She serves Gwendolyn, the Dark Moon God, technically. It's interesting though because in Dark Souls 1, well, let's back up. So she serves Gwendolyn. Well, from this bit of lore from the items, it can kind of be inferred that Leonhard, the reason he actually killed Rosaria and stole her soul was because he in fact was not a true finger, but he was actually a Dark Moonblade working for Gwendolyn. Or maybe not necessarily working for Gwendolyn, but he was of the covenant of the Dark Moonblades because he had that crescent moon sword, and it can just be inferred that that's what he did. And it's even more fitting that you would fight him here, which in Dark Souls 1, this is where Gwendolyn, this was Guinevere's chambers, but this is where Gwendolyn made and spoilers if you've never played the game, but Gwendolyn made a illusion of Guinevere right here. So this was all tied to Gwendolyn. This whole room was in Dark Souls 1. So I just find it very interesting that, also I find it very annoying that unlike Dark Souls 1, you can't drop down right here. But yeah, I find it very interesting that Ringfinger Leonhard, it seemed he was super passionate about Rosaria's fingers, but as it turns out, he probably was actually a Dark Moonblade who are like sworn enemies of Rosaria's fingers. So, it's just something to note there that I always found pretty interesting. There's one little thing we want to finish up. Up there. We actually can give Rosaria's soul. There's only one item you can get from it.
Aha, so.
And that is the Bountiful Sunlight miracle. Gradually restore high HP for self in broad area. Special miracle granted by the Princess of Sunlight. Gradually restores a large amount of HP for self and those in the vicinity. The miracles of Guinevere, loved as both mother and wife, bestow their blessing on a great many warriors. So, why did Rosaria have the Bountiful Sunlight miracle? Basically, it was a special miracle granted by the Princess of Sunlight. Was Rosaria friends with Guinevere at some point? I don't know. Anyway, you can actually still go to Rosaria's bedchamber and use her like corpse to respec your character. So even if you use the soul. So we are going to go ahead and use that soul, as a matter of fact. And that is actually going to do it for this episode, guys. In our next episode, we're going to start tackling the optional areas. At this point in the game, we have effectively finished the Dark Souls 3 main quest line. All there would be left to do to beat the game would be to place the cinders of the lords in their thrones and go fight the final boss. But we're probably only, 60% done with this Let's Play. This walkthrough, just because there's quite a bit more areas to go to in the base game, 3 big ones really, and then all the DLC. So we still have quite a lot going on that we need to do. But for now, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like, comment, hit that subscribe button for me, and we will see you next time. Bye!